Our dog has never been outside by itself in its life.
I don't care what Sue sells her puppies for. That has
Her line
nothing
may
to
be
do with
only
my
worth
dog.
$200.
If you're not here for some reason, we'll just leave the dog in a secured area outside the back door.
I'm really hurt about my dog. You lost my tiara. Yes, you did.
My baby,
That's
my
completely
baby.
unreasonable.
If you want to fight, I can get you boxing gloves, but we're not here for that. My first case ever with worms.
Come here, Sophie. Get him, Rusty.
Can I say something?
No. If she hadn't had an oral agreement, how do you do? I know you've all been sworn. I have read your complaint, sir. You're claiming that the defendant lost or did not take care of your poodle properly?
Yes, Your Honor.
What was your arrangement with the defendant?
Well, I met Miss Goldseth at Point Fermin Park probably about 9 months prior to this. At that time, she had shown a desire to breed her dog with my dog. I had a female, she had a male. When Tiara finally did come in season, she ran into me again, and we contacted each other and made arrangements for that to happen. I took the dog over.
What was the arrangement, sir?
To take my dog to her house and so that they could breed. And the arrangement was that she would get one puppy out of it.
Okay.
Okay?
Say which puppy?
Her choice.
Her choice.
Her choice.
Is that right, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We took the dog over. I took the dog over a few days prior to this incident. Her dog didn't show any interest, so I took the dog home, and I believe it was a day or 2 days at the latest that I brought the dog back. Her dog showed some interest. We talked in the front yard, and I even entered their home. She showed me how secure her home was and everything. Our dog has never been outside by itself in its life. I have, Your Honor, here, AKC registration, photograph of the dog, and of course here's an evaluation from Sherry's Poodles.
Who we bought the dog from?
Who we bought the dog from, and say what the dog is worth.
How much did you pay for the dog?
I think it was $858 as a pup. Those pups now go for $1,400. You can't buy one for $858 anymore.
Is that right, ma'am?
He told me when he brought the dog over, he had paid $800.
$858.
You know what the dog was worth?
I would say it was worth $800.
Okay.
$858 on the receipt.
And that's as
Pardon me?
That's as a pup, Your Honor.
Wait, one at a time. Okay. What did you want to say? What is your relationship to the defendant?
She's my wife. We've bred 40 dogs with our breeding pair. We've got between 250 and 400 for them.
All right.
That's your price, Mr. Goldseth. My breeder charges $858 4 years ago for the puppies. Her puppies now go for $1,400.
What is your relationship to the...
I'm Wanda Wagner. This is my husband. It was my dog originally. He adopted the dog when we married. And she's from a fine line. She's a proven breeder, Your Honor. She's had a litter before, and we were going to have a litter with Sue. She is a proven breeder, and according to the letter you have in front of you, the breeder has outlined the current price of the puppies and the worth of my dog. It's in that letter.
Okay.
I don't care what Sue sells her puppies for. That has
Her line
nothing
may
to
be
do with
only
my
worth
dog.
$200.
All right,
Tiara
okay.
is not a
All right.
mutt.
He brought the dog to you for breeding.
Yes.
Yes, I did.
Was the dog bred?
Yes.
Okay. You have written on the board here, this says timeline.
Yes, sir.
Can go over it, Your Honor, if you
All right,
like.
would you please?
Yes. What happened is Rodney dropped off his dog. That's the sire. His name is Pups or Shama.
Okay.
We had an appointment on Friday. Our son is getting married. We had a reception for him. We got home at 11:15. We turned the speakerphone on. I dialed Rodney's number, rang once. He answered it. We said, "We just got home. You can come pick up your dog." He said he had just gone to bed. So then we arranged to have the dog picked up by 7 o'clock, actually 6:50 the next morning. Which
I
would have
asked
been-
him what time he would like to get the dog, and he said 7 o'clock in the morning. We were leaving town that night. So I said to my son David, who was with us, "David, would you be able to be here at 7 to give the dog to Rodney?" And David said he had to leave at 10 to 7. He had an appointment.
Did you tell Rodney that?
So I said, Rodney, can you come at 10 to 7? And Rodney said he could. And then
That was on Saturday?
Saturday
Saturday
evening,
at about 11, sometime after 11:15.
we had to leave town right then. We have a U-Pick
But he was to
cherry
pick up the dog at 10 minutes to 7?
in the morning.
On Saturday the 6th.
In
that
the morning,
correct?
6:50 a.m.
Is that right, sir?
No, Your Honor. Originally, I was supposed to pick up the dog at 7 p.m. the night before. She was supposed
Your
to
Honor,
be
this
there.
is
Well, let
wrong.
me finish.
One at a time.
Okay.
At 7 p.m. because that particular Friday night at church we had a couple's dinner at 7. I made it to her house by 7 p.m. I rang the bell. I knocked the door. That dog and my dog was in there barking very loudly. No one was home for me to pick the dog up at the agreed time. Okay?
Sir.
Now, I went home and we only live about a mile apart. I called and I left a message on their machine stating that I was there at the agreed time and I had to go to church. And we had already talked about that when we left the dog, and they had said that if something happened, that they're not there, they would take the dog with them to Cherry Valley, which they were going that weekend because they have a cherry orchard there. So I assumed that they took the dog to Cherry Valley. This phone call, alleged phone call at 11:15 p.m.,
You didn't get that call?
I don't recall that call.
This is
And let me, and my wife can verify. When I go to bed at night, somebody call me in the middle of the night and give me instructions and go back to sleep. It's just like a dream. When I wake up, I don't recall the dream. I don't recall a phone call. And I'm not saying that she didn't make it, but 11:30 p.m. or 11:15 p.m. is kind of late waking somebody up, if that's the case, if she made the call, for me to have all my faculties.
What I want to get at is, sir, you were never told to come pick up the dog at 7 a.m. the next
No,
morning?
Not to my knowledge.
I want to know what happened to the dog. What did you do with the dog when you went to Cherry Valley?
Okay. When we went to Cherry Valley, as we had talked about in the phone call, we said if you're not here for some reason, we'll just leave the dog in a secured area outside the back door.
What was the secured area you left the dog?
It's a patio outside our back door. It's a fully fenced backyard.
I'd never consent
Wait,
to that.
wait a minute. Do you have a picture of that?
I don't have
The
a picture.
picture of the area.
No, sir.
Did you think it was important at all? You or your husband ever think it was important to show me where you left the dog?
I'm sorry, sir.
When you came home from Cherry Valley, was the dog there?
No.
Did you pick up the dog, sir?
No, Your Honor. Judge Wapner.
When did you find out the dog was missing?
The following Monday, when I came to their house, I knocked on the door. Her son came to the door. I said, I'm here to pick up the dog, because we had already made arrangements that if I couldn't pick up the dog that Friday night, I could pick the dog up Monday when they get back from Cherry Valley. And so Monday morning I was there.
What time?
Oh, it was early. I would think before 9 a.m.
Okay, you saw David.
David, yes. And he was just shocked. He was shocked that the dog wasn't there, and he was pretty sure that his mother didn't take the dog. But he said, wait a minute. He says, I don't want to get you excited about it. Let me look into it. Call back later. And then Sue had, I believe that night, called me and said, we lost the dog. She said one of her neighbors seen it down at a park, which is about
Did you
2
tell him
blocks
that?
away.
2 blocks away.
One lady said, my husband saw a little brown dog, lost dog in the park. That was at 11 a.m.
She say what
On
kind of dog
Saturday.
it was?
She just called it a little brown dog.
Was the dog a little brown
A
dog?
little
Yes.
brown dog, yes, apricot in color.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, please. Sue, I don't know you. I'm really hurt about my dog. You lost my tiara. Yes, you did. But listen, Sue, can I look at you for a second? You prayed with us on the phone about my dog. Do you think in your heart of hearts that your behavior, in terms of the way you've conducted yourself in this whole thing, is indicative of a Christian's behavior? I'm so sad about the loss of my dog, and I know you probably are too.
If you're asking her a question, then she'd give her a chance to answer it.
Your Honor, I will, but she has not been in touch with us since she lost my dog. She's been invisible. She vanished. Where were you?
Your Honor, I'd like to
That
say
was so
two things.
cruel.
May I say two things?
Yes.
Originally, when we said it would be good if you got the dog before the weekend because we have to go away for the weekend, we said you'd have to come before 5:30 on Friday night. We have a wedding shower at 6 o'clock for my son. Rodney came at 7. We were not home. And the other thing I'd like to say is we don't live in San Pedro. In the summer, we live in Cherry Valley. Every time I came home, which was every week or 10 days, and there was any message on the answering machine, I'd call back and leave a message.
One
And-
message.
We'll take my recess
Thank you,
now.
Your Honor.
Thank you.
I heard the noise. I looked out the window. Their dogs were in my driveway.
One of the dogs was on his yard, and the other dog was in the middle of the street.
When they've gotten out, they've chased the cat up the tree.
I've seen the dogs chase their cat, yes.
Remain seated and come to order. This court is again in session.
When we take away all of the emotion, which I have to do in rendering a judgment, set that aside, what we have here is a bailment for the mutual benefit of the parties. The defendant in this case has to use ordinary diligence and reasonable care to take care of the thing that is bailed. And that's, in this case, we're talking about Tiara. Whether or not, if I were to believe everything you say and your husband says, that he was to come at a certain time and he didn't come then, and your son had charge of the dog, your son left the dog where he did, is that using reasonable care, ordinary diligence? I can't say that it is. The dog got out, so there must have been something that was not completely secure, and it was your responsibility to see that it was done. First of all, you're not the kind of person, and I'm sure your husband is not, who wouldn't want to do the humane thing. And to leave a dog alone like that is not the humane thing. It's not only improper legally, but I think it's morally improper. So the question then becomes one of damages. The person says that the value of the dog, irrespective of whether it was pregnant or not, was $4,800. And there's no evidence to rebut that. So my judgment is for the plaintiff for $4,800.
Yes. We loved Tiara. She was like a child to us, and she was just snatched out of our lives. She's gone. Not even another puppy, as Sue offered, would replace Tiara.
Tiara's puppies would have been born about 5 weeks ago, and so if there are ads in the paper, there's a possibility of going to poodle puppy ads and finding her.
I weren't you ever in touch concerning my dog. Where were you? You wouldn't even give us a call to reason the situation out. We may not have had to be here today if you had just called and wanted to reason the situation out.
The Animal Court is now in session. The Honorable Joseph A. Wapner, Judge presiding.
I know you've all been sworn. I have read your complaint. You're saying that the defendant's dog injured your cat?
Yes, that's correct.
And where did that happen, sir?
In front of right on the porch in our house, actually in the driveway there in front of the house.
How do you know that?
Wait,
You didn't even
sir, I didn't call on you, did I? Huh?
No.
We'll get along fine if you just wait till I ask you to speak, and then we'll just get along great.
Okay,
In the driveway?
yes, I know this because I heard a crashing noise against the garage, and it makes a lot of noise because it resonates through the house because,
Were you in the house at the time?
yes, sir, I was.
Did you go outside?
Yes, I did.
Did you see it happen?
No, I did not.
Did anyone see it happen?
Not as far as I know. On several occasions in the past, when they've gotten out, they've chased the cat up the tree on more than one occasion. This time, when I heard the noise, I looked out the window. Their dogs were in my driveway. Their little boy had let him out. They have a small, I believe he's 2 years old, and he was standing out on the sidewalk in front of their house. And
In front of their house?
In front of their house.
Where is their house?
They're right across the street from us.
Okay.
So if you look out our kitchen window, you can see their house. Right. I saw the dogs. I saw their boy in the sidewalk, and that's what I was watching because he was out by himself.
Where was the cat?
At the time, I didn't know where the cat was. I know the cat was right in front of our house because I had just let the cat out like I do every morning.
You let the cat out?
Yes, every morning. The cat stays inside at night. Every morning, we let the cat out, and the cat stays in our
And the area in which the cat was in your driveway is not enclosed?
No, sir, it's not. Their boy started wandering in the street.
What time did you look outside?
This was about 7:15 in the morning on Saturday morning. I got her boy. He was starting to walk down the street. He was in the middle of the street. One of the dogs had already wandered across the main street, and in fact almost got hit by a car.
Okay.
I took the boy back. The dogs followed him back.
Did you talk to her?
Yes, I explained to her that her boy was out. At this time, I had not found out what happened to the cat because the cat had hidden. The cat was injured and was hiding underneath the car. I came back in the house. My wife was getting ready for work. I was telling her the story. About 15 minutes later, she went outside to put the sprinklers on in the yard. That's when she saw the cat come out from underneath the car and was dirty and was limping. So she looked down, picked her up to see what was happening, and noticed that her leg was, just hanging off to one side. Now,
Was that the damage to the cat, ma'am? The leg?
Yeah,
the leg,
the
yes.
back leg.
All right, sir.
Well, again, I had left very early that morning, but this is completely contradictory to what he had told me on Tuesday night after this incident.
What did he tell you on Tuesday night?
That when he heard this thump, he went outside. One of the dogs was on his yard, and the other dog was in the middle of the street.
And I was actually the person that was home, and
Okay.
the doorbell rang at 6:52. And I looked at my clock because it was so early. I thought somebody was seriously injured or.
Between 6:52 and 7:15, I don't think we ought to quibble, do you?
Well, yes, I do, because unfortunately, when he brought the dogs and Jake home, everything was fine, and he was smiling, and I said thank you very much, and he left, and I went outside to
Where
work
are
in
the
my
dogs
yard.
normally kept?
In the backyard.
But they're not on a leash or on a chain?
No,
or
they're
anything.
not chained, because we have a pretty good backyard.
How do you think they got out?
Our son, he can unlock doors. He opens
You
everything.
can unlock doors?
Oh, yeah. So he was going through a phase where he's real quiet, and he let the dogs out the front door, and they were out. But as I was saying, at about 10 after 7, my next door neighbor called me and asked me if my dogs were out. I went outside again, and there were 2 other dogs standing at the corner of their next door neighbor's fence.
Let me hear your witnesses.
This is our next door neighbor. She's the lady who saw the other 2 dogs about 20
What other
minutes
2
later.
dogs did you see, ma'am?
They were 2 black dogs, but neither one of them was as big as their dogs are. I had I went back and called Betty and said, your dogs are out. She came out, she said, my dogs are in the backyard, and we looked and they wasn't, and I called the dogs, and her dogs come to me. These dogs turned and ran up the street.
Were you there also?
No, I was there when Art had come over and to speak to Betty. I was standing there when he was telling her what he had assumed happened with the cat and the dog.
What did he say?
Well, I was sitting on the couch and I heard Betty say, oh my God, because that was her reaction to her thinking that the cat was killed by the dogs. So he was telling her that apparently when he heard the thud, apparently that was the dogs attacking the cat, and he had assumed that was what was happening, and then he was telling her that about what happened with the cat's leg, and he described that he took it to the vet, and the cat was still at the vet.
Do you have a report from the vet and the
Yes,
vet
I
bill?
have 2 letters from the vet, and I have the bills here.
What I wanted to see was the doctor, whether he said it was a dog bite, and apparently the cat did suffer from a dog bite.
Their dogs, like I said, have in the past have chased our cat up the tree, and that's with them standing in the driveway if they've seen it happen. And that's never happened with any other
Have you
animals.
ever seen that happen?
I've seen the dogs chase their cat. Yes.
Have you?
God, if our dog did it for sure, hey, we'll do the right thing.
You don't know one way or the other.
But
sir.
no, not at all. There's just too many unknowns.
There's no
and it's a lot of money.
Take a short
Concrete
recess. I'll come
evidence.
back, give you my decision.
Remain seated and come to order. This court is again in session.
The first thing I want to emphasize is that I think everyone who's been here and testified has testified honestly to his or her own recollection. No one has tried to say anything that isn't so. There are two kinds of evidence, however. One is direct evidence and the other is circumstantial. Each is given the same weight in a court of law. I happen to think circumstantial evidence is even more powerful than direct evidence because circumstances tell us a lot. We have the defendant dogs in the plaintiff's driveway. They were seen immediately after the plaintiff heard a thud. The thud was obviously the cat being bitten and got underneath the car somehow. I don't know how that happened, but I guess maybe the cat was cowering back there trying to be protected. Also, we have the fact that the defendant's dogs, by the defendant's own admission, again honestly saying what happened, that the defendant's dogs did chase the plaintiff's cat up a tree many times. The dogs got out of the house. That was negligence. The plaintiffs, however, knew that the defendant's dogs had, on occasion, chased the plaintiff's cat up a tree. And yet they let this cat out on the porch, in the driveway, unattended. Cats don't have to be on a leash, but if you put them out where a dog might attack them, then you have to bear the responsibility, at least partially. I have assessed the vulnerability of each of you at 50%. Plaintiff showed me bills for $1,300. My judgment is for plaintiff for $650.
When Art offered to pay half initially, we thought that would be a fine sentiment.
We agreed to that.
And and again, it could have been a lot worse situation that morning where I mean, our son could have been injured, and we've tried to take steps to make sure he doesn't get out.
It's unfortunate that this even had to get to this point, but they agreed to pay for half, and then when it came time to pay for that, they didn't pay it, and that's the only reason. Otherwise, I would have been perfectly fine with accepting half. That's all we wanted in the first place.
We were going to pay. You broke the verbal agreement. So.
That's your opinion. That's not exactly true, but
whatever.
Gotta have things your way all the time. So, what can you say?
We could say that to you, Art.
We
tried to avoid this. It's a very good neighborhood.
Yeah.
And it's a very unfortunate circumstance.
And our kids and their kid are friends
same
as well.
Age. Yeah.